I failed my business. Not this one. This one.
You failed!
And it was awesome.
Exceptional!
Outstanding.
I see better.
From failing, you learn. From success, not so much.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jamila. So if you're new, let me give you a little bit of context. I'm Jamila, 30 years old, living in Colorado, and I have two businesses. One, my very first one was God Given 157. It's a clothing brand, a faith-based clothing brand that's more streetwear. The second business is fairly new. It's a baby. It's Fit Mirage, which is a fashion tech company. So now you know just a little bit of information about the businesses. Let me just tell you why I feel like I failed my business. The brand I poured my heart to is coming to an end. Aww. Yes, unfortunately, God Given 157 is closing. But failure isn't the full story. Let me take you back when this all started. From the first sweater we grew, every collection told a story. When I first started God Given 157, the idea was to help people walk with Christ. I was in a season where my whole world changed, everything. Like stuff that I thought I never could get through. And it wasn't until I actually finally got through it and realized dang, it was easier with Christ. It was easier to get through it than I did by myself. So God Given 157 was supposed to be just a streetwear brand to have big quotes and any type of scripture, any type of encouragement that was needed for anyone who needed it, just like how I did. Starting with our first product, it was the Christmas hoodie. The biggest mistake that I did when doing the Christmas hoodie was launching an unknown brand during the holidays. Who's gonna spend money during the holidays when everyone already has saved their money for Black Friday, for Christmas, for their New Year's Eve, and then tax money comes, right? No one was gonna spend money on a new clothing brand that they never heard of. That was my biggest mistake. But the God Given 157, I wanted to do it so badly because I loved the idea of the Christmas hoodie. It was so cute. It started off, it was supposed to be like a drawing, and I actually had my sister's boyfriend draw up a picture. It was actually really cute, but it kind of gave an ugly Christmas sweater, so I just left. I just decided just to do God Given 157 in Christmas colors with a Santa hat, and that's how God Given 157 came, the first product came about. It was honestly probably one of my favorites. We had it the color green and the color tan, and honestly I got a really good feedback from people, especially from my sister's work, who saw her wear it and wanted to purchase one. But unfortunately it was kind of late to purchase one because during the time it was the green, especially during the holidays it was being taken. So if they did purchase and I did sell it to them, it would take a little bit longer to give to them, and I just didn't want that. So I told them unfortunately I'm no longer doing this. This was a limited drop and it was a certain time frame. The next collection was the 3 hoodies. The I Want to Believe Me Again hoodie in black, brown, and in royal blue. So I decided to do this because I was in a season where I couldn't trust my decisions, and I couldn't trust because I was always making the wrong decisions. I went back and forth in a 9.5-year toxic relationship, and that was the biggest mistake I've ever made. I also felt like I didn't make the right decision of going to school to become a physical therapist, but I also didn't make the right decision of not completing my degree on becoming a physical therapist. So overall, every decision that I made, I felt like I couldn't just make the right decision, and I just wanted a piece of clothing to help me and remind myself that I can believe myself again. And with the scripture, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That was the scripture that helped me during the season where I felt like I can't do this. God, you're telling me to heal from a past life, certain situations, and I feel like I just can't do it because I can't make the right decision. I was also at one point where I questioned walking with God. I literally had the thoughts of did I make the right choice with walking with God? Did I overdo this and kind of just made the biggest mistake of my life? Because God controls everything and God knows everything. I felt like once you're with God, it's you can't get away from him. But as you can see, we are never God is always with us. You can never get away from God because he's everywhere. But I literally thought that. And I remember, because I was homeless at one point, during that time I was like, dang, like if I knew this was what it took to be with Christ, I wouldn't have done it, right? And I felt like in a way I made a mistake by choosing God instead of just staying in the same situation I was in. So, but this hoodie and that scripture definitely helps me get through that time. I was like, you know what, like tough time happens, right? We all struggle, we all go through things. Yes, I feel like during the time, like God had to break down the old world that I once created for myself to like make room for something that's new. And it was not easy, it's not comfortable. I'm still going through it, right? Like trying to finally see everything fulfilled. Like all these new things have happened, but they're not in full fruition. So yeah, that's how the hoodies came about, and it's something I'm still walking through and something that still helps me, and I still meditate on that one. Like I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, right? Whatever God tells me that I can do, I can do. Like when starting a Fit Mirage app or rebranding God Given 157 and just doing God Given 157 in general. Like my life has not been easy. This transition has not been easy, and changing my life, doing something new has been a humbling experience. And I created this hoodie because I was in such a vulnerable place, in a place where I felt like no one could be there but God, and I chose God because he was the only one who was there. We then go into the yellow rib tank top, which was the next one. I actually had a whole collection before this, and it was gonna be like a whole different direction, but I just felt like I was tired of hoodies. So I didn't go the hoodie direction and decided to do a tank top. So we finally did our first tank top because the goal was to always do like fashionable pieces where you could wear everyday wear, where it's not just hoodies, but it's like where you could be cute, fashionable, right? That was always the goal. And I thought I had to start with hoodies first before I could go there, but now I know I don't have to start with that. But yes, so we finally transitioned into finally moving into pieces that are more like not like hoodies and like stuff like that. So we did a tank top, and how this collection came about was I saw the word evolve over and over and over in one season of my life. And I felt like God was telling me, like, you just need to evolve. You just need to evolve through the situation. It definitely happened during my healing season. I'm like, okay, I feel somewhat healed, but I feel like the pain is still there, right? But I felt like God was calling me to evolve. And I remember watching Blue Lock, and it basically is a show about evolving. And it kind of like clicked right there. It's like, oh my goodness, like I want to evolve just like how they evolve. Crazy how I let an anime show, you know, move me. But I knew like God was speaking me through that. So that's how Evolve came about, by seeing it every single day. And then evolved through the growing pains. One of my favorite K-pop artists is Kim Woojin. And his song Growing Pains, I felt it. I was in the season when I was here in Colorado living with my mom, and I just felt like it was growing pains, just going through the situation I was going through, writing the book. I was writing the book that time, and then I was starting to do all the legal paperwork for God Given 157. It was just hard. I was trying to bring God Given 157 to life to the point where people know about it, right? And then I was also writing a book where I felt like God was heavily telling me to do, right? And it wasn't easy. I don't like writing. I really don't. Grammar, writing, anything like that is just not my forte. I'm a math girl. I'm a science girl. But God was like, write that book. So I wrote the book, and we finally like finished it and everything. But during that season, I was going through some growing pains of stuff that I just did not want to do. But we eventually got through it. I had to go through the growing pains, and I had to evolve to get through that hard time. I just had to keep pushing forward. So that's how the Evolve Through the Growing Pains yellow rib tank top came about. It was supposed to be more colors, but yellow was the only one that we chose, and it was during the Easter time where it finally launched. But then we hit a wall. I discovered that someone else already had the name God Given, and legally our brand name was too close. It was a tough pill to swallow. It wasn't about lack of passion or ideas. It was about needing to pivot. So I truly believe that there was this one point in my life, I think I was about maybe 6 or 7 months with God Given 157, and nothing was happening. I was not getting orders. I did get a few people on my email list, which was perfect, which was really great. Just about 6 people. And when I realized like nothing was happening after 6 months and 7 months of consistent consistent content creating and posting out there, I just felt like I was just not getting what I was putting out there. So I knew for a fact I needed to pivot. So God Given 157, actually I took a pause and I was like, you know what, I need to rebrand, I need to pivot, I need to change because this is not working. So I actually kind of built it up into a startup in some ways, right? So God Given 157 is actually like, it's an LLC, it's illegal. So I made sure to get the LLC for God Given 157. So I went online, you know, got people to help me, and I got my first person, which was Carol. Carol is my marketing manager for God Given 157. And she kind of like let me know, like, hey, this is what you need to work on for your content. Like, it's just not clean, it's just not aesthetic, it's just not there. Like, there was no brand identity. Like, she was telling me, like, there's no identity with God Given 157. And I was like, wow, dang. Like, at the time I didn't know, but as I was working with Fit Mirage, I knew like that was part, like I knew like brand identity wasn't there. But when she said it, it was like clear to me as day, like, okay, I need a brand identity. From there, we've been working diligently and kind of like brainstorming. She did like all the content creation, like planned the content out, and I started creating the content. But anyway, so yes, I knew I needed to do a hard pivot for God Given 157, and that's what I did. And that's where the whole rebrand comes about. So we have to rebrand because legally I cannot have God Given in my name, because once I trademark it, it won't be accepted because of the name God Given, and someone already else is using it who already has a pretty good following on social media. So we changed it, and we actually have the name, the typography, the direction that we want to go, how the fashion, the storytelling and everything. We know exactly where we want to go now. We know our brand identity, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. But that will be in the next video. We're still working out the kinks. We're still trying to polish everything. If you know the fashion world, you know it takes time. So as we're rebranding that, and as that process takes time, we're trying to get God Given 157 one last chance to be able to have this glory, so I could say at least I had one order for God Given 157, and that's the goal. But in that moment, I realized sometimes failure is just a redirect. It's not the end of your story, it's the beginning of a new chapter. So yes, we're rebranding. I won't go into details just yet, but know this, the mission stays the same: faith, creativity, and growth. Have you ever felt like you failed? Remember this, failure isn't final, it's feedback. And for me, it's the push to evolve. If you've been a part of the God Given 157 journey, I just want to thank you. And definitely stay tuned to what's next, whether you're following on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or Lemonade, or subscribe to our email waitlist. Whichever way it is, be prepared to finally see what the rebrand is going to be. With that being said, thank you guys for watching this video, and thank you for being a part of God Given 157 by watching the YouTube videos, giving me feedback, or putting your email in the email waitlist for the subscriber list. So thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate it. This is my very first business and my baby, and unfortunately, she has to close. But with that being said, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
My girl said be a lawyer cause you argue so well. I said I just work with a judge to put my demons in jail. I'ma get in the courtroom and he gon' say we made bail. Like, well done, my good and faithful bruh, how can I fail? They say don't meet your heroes, I meet mine every day. See the cross instead of a cape, tell him my God really saves. I got riches behind the gate that couldn't fit in the bank. Yahweh told me the neighbors called, asking when I'm on my way. I'm coming, I'm running, and I'ma finish the race. See, this is true life, the true light gon' show us the way. See, I got new eyes and